Hello, everybody. We are going to be doing a zombies tier list, Call of Duty zombies tier list. See what our favorite maps are, whether Nocturne and Toten we consider to be an S tier map or a F tier map.
You guys know the rules of tier maker, so I mean, it should be quite simple, right?
But in case you don't know, F tier is the worst. Think of it like a grade. But S tier is the best. A tier is the second best. B tier is the third best. C tier, blah, blah, blah. So top is the best. Bottom is the worst. So, yeah, let's begin. Okay, well, first off, let's just switch these.
Oh, yeah, I just realized it's like, yeah.
It's switched.
So it flopped. Do you want to just flop back and forth on each map?
What do you mean?
Just like you do a map and then I do a map and then so on.
Sure.
Do you want to go first then?
Sure, I'll go first.
Sweet.
So Nocturne and Toten, while I do like it a lot, I do appreciate that it was the first map of zombies, but I also know that everything that came after it is objectively better, like in most ways. Now, I get that because this was the very first map. They didn't know what they were doing with it. Normally, I would think that this map, I used to think this map was more up here, let's say, A tier, B tier, S tier, this kind of area. Now I'm realizing I'm kind of crazy, that this map definitely would not go here. I think that the way we're going to order this list is S tier is like God tier, A tier is really good, B tier is good, C tier is, pretty decent,
Mid.
and D tier is decent. F tier is bad. I think that this map is not bad. It is not bad enough to be a bad map. It just is so bare bones. There's no substance. And if you really want to play a map, people are going back to play this game. You are not going to play this map past round 20. And if you could get past round 20, let's say it wasn't hard, which it is hard, but if it wasn't hard enough to get past round 20, this one you would probably quit beforehand because it's just not exciting enough to consistently play. So I got to go with D tier.
Perfect. I agree. D tier is same spot I got. Okay, Verox, you and I play this map quite a lot, like if we just want to dick around and stuff. Verox was one of those maps where we just kind of just want to have fun on it, but at the same time, if you play the Black Ops 1 version, it's actually really difficult. Zombies Chronicles made it a lot easier, just like every other map was. It first introduced perks, which changed the game for the better. And there was a lot of things that were taken out of this map that actually would have made it better. For example, Hellhounds were supposed to be introduced on this map, and that would have provided a huge challenge. And to be honest, that probably would have tanked this map's popularity. It's kind of just one of those maps where if you don't really know what else to play, you just play Verox. And there's a lot of creepy Easter eggs in it, and I really like it. No context to it other than that's just a bare bones map with perks. So I think personally where I would put this map is probably right over Noct at D tier. Just considering the fact that it's kind of Verox is kind of like Noct's like slightly better older brother in a sense.
Yeah, it's a slight improvement because of the perks. So that brings us to Shinonuma, and Shinonuma is a map that in all categories is an improvement on Noct and Verrückt. While it has every single element of Verrückt and Noct, it gave us another improvement on the maps, and it gave us Hellhounds. Me personally, as much as people do not agree with this, I never was a huge fan. I don't think Hellhounds need to be in zombies. I like the fact, though, that you have a guaranteed ammo stash. Like, it's guaranteed max ammo. I think that's a good idea. But Hellhounds were never my favorite boss in all of zombies. One of my least favorite bosses, actually. But I also know that on a map in World at War, the innovation of constant max ammos every 5 rounds, that kind of thing, was a really good innovation. So I actually would not put this at C tier because I don't think this map is even good, like relatively good. It's got a great atmosphere, but I was never super big on this map, and it's not really this map's fault. Well, it is this map's fault, but I don't know. I feel like there are some parts I should like, and I shouldn't be this hard on it, but it's not a map I want to go back and replay. And I feel like it's the same way for most people. This map is one of the most forgotten World at War maps for me, despite the fact it keeps getting remastered. Who goes back and plays it? Nobody I know. So I would say it would go above Verrückt and above Knock for those slight improvements, but it's still D tier.
I think Durice, you'll probably agree with me. Durice is probably the first A tier map that we're putting on this list already. Again, it's pretty bare bones again, but it's an expensive map, and it has like a deeper dive into the characters that we know of today. So the Ultimus and Primus crew, mostly Ultimus. Pack-a-Punch was introduced. Monkey bombs were a thing, and there was that little catwalk that you could camp. So that was pretty fun. And every map has a Pack-a-Punch type of quest that you have to do, and this one was just really simple. You just go to each teleporter and you link them, and just run back to the mainframe and link them. And Pack-a-Punch is just open, and it just made it for like a better experience in zombies. So I'd say Durice is probably the first map that innovated zombies for the better. And once it got to BO1, you know it was just going to be good, right? So, I mean, I would say Durice is probably our first A tier map that we're going to put. Once we get deeper into this list, I'm pretty sure we're going to have this, like, probably bottom of A tier, just depending on where it's going to be at. So, yeah, that's Durice.
I totally agree. A tier, I wouldn't have a problem putting in S tier because I do think the innovation is probably probably the most important innovation in zombies. But I am very comfortable with it in A tier. Kino der Toten ups next. I love this map. However, big but here, it is not an A tier or an S tier, and if I'm being totally honest, I don't even think it's a B tier map. For me, it is comfortably in C tier, as it is a good map for being a free map, and a lot of good memories happen on this map. However, I don't think that it's because of the map's actual substance. We love this map because we grew up playing this map. I think that's really it. I loved it because of that same reason. I realized that after playing it today, I went back and played it after years. I went back and realized that this map there's not much to this map. There is no improvement from Durice and Kino der Toten. There is zero improvement. And while that's not horrible, that's not like a horrible thing, because while Zombies constantly innovates, a lot of maps are the exact same in terms of innovation. But I really would have rather saw something better in Kino der Toten versus Durice. So I have to put Kino der Toten in C tier.
Perfect. Yeah, I like it. So 5's up next. I think 5 is debatably probably the hardest map in Zombies, I would say. There's not really much spots to train other than probably just the bottom area, just going in that little circle. The Winter's Howl was introduced on this map, and it's pretty bad. Pack-a-Punch wasn't necessarily hard to get. It was literally just switch to DEFCONs after you turn the power on, and then you get straight there and you'll be in the President's Room. The Pentagon Thief was always an issue, I thought, but I think it added a little more of a challenge to the map. But if he steals your weapon and he runs off with it, you're pretty much done. You still get a max ammo, but you don't get that weapon back. And say if you got a ray gun stolen or something like that, because ray gun's like peak wonder weapon in that game. You wouldn't be a happy camper. But other than that, 5 is just a very, very difficult map. There's a lot of tight spots. There really isn't much room to train. You basically just have to camp in some spots if you need to, or like if you're just a starting player. But if you're not going to be playing hard maps, do not play 5. So I'm going to give 5 the slight edge over Kino der Toten. I'm going to put it in C tier.
I do agree with that. I'm a big fan of 5, but I also know that it's not necessarily always because the map is good. I like the cast. The cast is awesome. I love the cast.
The theme of the map, I'll add that on. The theme of the map, the Pentagon. Like, who would think the Pentagon would be such a great theme for zombies?
That's crazy. It's crazy that they did that. That's such an ambitious idea. I love that they did that. Anyway, on to Ascension. My thoughts on Ascension is that it is probably if we're going off of purely Treyarch and not the Cold War maps, but if we're going by Treyarch before Cold War, this is probably I would say that Ascension is one of the easiest maps in all of Zombies. Even if you include the monkeys, I still think that while the monkeys suck, the monkey round itself is not hard at all, especially because you really only need one per Juggernog. And if you protect Juggernog, you make sure Juggernog's okay. Most of the monkeys will only go towards the Juggernog machine, so if you catch a few stray monkeys on the way to the Juggernog machine who are going to other machines, what'll happen is all of the only monkeys that'll be left are going after the machine you're protecting, and I realized that that's a guide to literally a free perk. So because of that, this map, every time I do it, that always happens on this map, and even if I lose perks on this map, it's never that big of a deal. I realize that this map, you only need Juggernog. That is it. Well, Quick Revive is great and all, and if you can protect Quick Revive and Juggernog because of that underground passage area you can buy, that's a way to protect them both. That's not necessarily required, though. So I think that Ascension has, because of the cool innovations, though, that Ascension brought to the table, meaning the rocket and how, the way you turn on the power and honestly, the location is really cool, too, and the lore was great. So I think it's over 5, and I think it's over Kino der Toten, but I don't think it's a B tier map. I think it's a C tier map. It's going to be comfortably in a C tier map, but I think it's better than 5, and I think it's better than Kino der Toten, and that's really all I got to say about it.
Sweet.
That's one of my favorites.
Another thing about Ascension is that the fact that it's easy, the Thunder Gun makes it way easier. Mm-hmm. Like, I feel like the people who made this map, I feel like they just completely forgot that they put one of the most overpowered wonder weapons on the easiest map on Zombies. Or one of the easiest.
And they put the most overpowered training spot ever in Zombies history.
Alright. Anyways, Call of the Dead. So, I'd say this is probably like good top 15 for me. There's nothing bad about it.
It is a top 10 map for me.
For you. I think the only bad thing we really say about this is probably George Romero. He just follows you around the map, and he's really annoying.
Yeah.
Although you can kind of slide by him in little tight spots, he'll still try to get after you, and he'll slow you down, and it's just kind of a hassle. The wonder weapons are also pretty shit on this map, the VR-11 and the Scavenger. You can't really use the Scavenger unless you have PSG Flopper, and that's the thing. Like, PSG Flopper on most of these maps, it just makes it way easier and more fun. There's not really much to train on Call of the Dead besides maybe spawn, but even then, it's just like a little tight area that you can't really step past, especially if George is going to be there. Other than that, the cast was fantastic. I loved all the real life actors that participated in this map, and I thought that was amazing.
I would like to say that for the wonder weapon part, if you're playing solo, there is a method you can do to repeatedly over and over and over get the wonder waff again and again and again, and it makes the wonder weapon whole fiasco, it alleviates it a little bit, but I totally understand that point. The wonder weapons are trash on that map. They're utter trash, and I think that I totally agree. What tier did you say it was?
I would give this a good B tier. It's probably high B tier, I'd definitely say.
Oh crap. Oh my god.
I don't know why that opened. But yeah, I would give this a high B tier, just because of its simplicity. And it's not too difficult, it's not too easy either.
That's fair.
And yeah, that's pretty much it for Call of the Dead.
I agree with that. I think I would put an A, but B tier is very comfortable for the spot, and it shouldn't go any higher than A tier.
I would say, yeah, if anything, it would be high B tier, low A tier.
I can agree with that. So, Shangri-La, this map is probably, for the time, it was the most unique map in the entire Zombies franchise. for one reason, because while every other map in the game, in all the games by this point, were gray, brown, dull colors, this was the first map to actually be colorful. It actually showed you colors other than the standard gray, dull, brown colors. Like, this one was actually trying to be different, and I appreciate that. But then we go on to its problems that are so much more than its actual pros. Like, the cons are so much worse than the pros. First con is that the map is so close-quartered, but not in a fun, interesting way, more like a what the fuck is going on kind of way. So that kind of pegs it down for me. Another problem with the map is that how close-quartered it makes it so insanely difficult to progress the rounds, but not in a fun way, more like in a I want to pull my hair out kind of way. It is too difficult of a map. While the weapon on the map, the wonder weapon, the baby gun, is extremely good and extremely fun, in order for the map to be a lot better and a lot easier, there has to be something else and something better, and there wasn't. There was only the baby gun. So that's why, in my personal opinion, I can't give Shangri-La a B tier. I would say it is, in my opinion, I would say it is below Ascension, but above 5. Because while I think that 5 and Shangri-La are the two hardest maps in Zombies, I would argue that 5 is just a little bit harder because, once again, the Wonder Weapon is actually pretty good in Shangri-La, but the Wonder Weapon in 5 is utter terrible. It's so bad. So I'm going to give it this spot in C tier.
I think that would be the first map that we have different spots on for our tier list, because I would say Shangri-La would be a good high B tier, honestly.
I would have put it B tier, but I do not like this map.
That's fair. So, yeah, Shangri-La is passed now, so we got Moon. This is probably the first hit or miss map that's ever been released on Zombies.
I like it. I like it.
You either like it or you hate it. And most people like it just because of the Easter egg, which is understandable because you blow up the Earth, right?
I like it because you're on the moon.
Yeah.
You're on the moon. Is that not the coolest thing
You're
ever?
on the moon. You're fighting zombies on the moon.
You float. Is that not cool?
You get an Area 51 trip. But I guess some of the downsides, like floating and stuff like that, and you're on the moon, there is no atmosphere to it. It's dead silent. All you can hear is the breathing in your PES. So, I mean, yeah. There's that. I guess the astronaut dude's probably a little annoying too if he comes around and he tries to steal your perks. But I really can't really say anything bad about this map. I mean, I guess the Nova Crawlers are an issue.
Oh yeah, they shouldn't have been on this map.
No, they made this map much harder because like once you get through the laboratories, there are really tight spaces. But once you get out in like the moon areas, you can float and you can get around the zombies easily.
They clog up doors way too easily. It is because of the amount of space they occupy with their wingspan on the ground. They make getting through doors a pain in the ass, and that's why I think that I like this map a lot. Actually, I think it's a lot of it's nostalgia, but I totally understand the people that don't like it. Like, I totally understand.
I think every person has the same reason for disliking it, which is obviously fine, right? But you gotta acknowledge that this is like one of the fun Zombies maps, right? And Zombies Chronicles made it way beautiful too. So I would give this a good right under Doris A tier.
Holy shit, that is very high for Moon.
That is once we get more into the list though, we're gonna have a lot more in that section.
I don't hate that though. I don't hate that spot, but I wouldn't put it there. I put it probably in B tier, but I don't hate it. Transit. Oh my god, I get to talk about Transit. It's my lucky day. Oh my god, best map ever. Okay, so Transit is the best. I'm just kidding. No. So Transit. Well, I love the idea of Transit. The idea is super cool. It's interesting. You know, Treyarch never ever lacks ideas for stuff. And I think that Transit was a great idea for a map. But then that's only a partial partial part of the process of creating a map. The other part, the other like 80% is actually making the map and releasing the map. And because they were releasing it on Black Ops 2 and how ambitious it was, the map never really saw its true potential. Another thing, though, is that the map in layout and the way you kind of do things in the map, you know, the process of progression is so bad on this map. It's unbearable.
Like it sounds good on paper, but once you execute it, terrible execution.
Mm-hmm. Pack-a-punch, dumbest way to open Pack-a-punch I have ever seen in a game. Yeah. It is the worst way of opening Pack-a-punch. It automatically pegs this map down like a bunch of tiers, all automatically because of that. That is so stupid. It makes it so much harder to actually get past certain rounds on this map because you have to worry about no zombies breaking this turbine, this stupid ass turbine. And if you're at really high rounds, like round 30s, and trying to pack a punch, you're crazy. But if you're trying to, good luck. You'll never be able to do it. It is awful. So I think that Transit is going to be our first bad map, but I also think that it is a map that tried. It tried and it fell right on its face.
Perfect. One thing about Transit, though, is like if you have a group of friends, it's a lot more fun, right?
Yes, it is.
It's a lot more fun to play with a group of friends. So I mean, yeah, that's basically all for Transit then. And yeah, let's just fix this tier list a bit, just to kind of organize this and see like how we're actually sorting this. Man, you can't type today.
It's the okie doke tier. This is the good tier.
And God tier. No.
Is that how you spell his name?
I think it's an A. A-M-E-Z at the end.
Okay.
We're just gonna keep it. Okay, yeah, we can keep it like that. That's fine.
No. Sorry. I'm gonna change it one more time.
See, we're not even ranking thing anymore. We're not even ranking the list. We're just there. We go.
All right. So. All right,
guys. Our new tier is called Tom Holland tier. This is the top of the top.
Best of the best. Yes. The Tomest of the Hollands. You know, it really Toms your Holden.
And one map that's definitely not going in that Tom the Holland spot is Nuketown Zombies.
Totally agree.
Yeah, you can already put that in F tier, by the way.
I don't think it's an F tier map, but I do think it's either F tier or decent. But I don't think it's. I think it's a decent.
I only have a couple things to say about this map, and it's that like the perk system is a little weird. You don't know if you're gonna get Jug early or until like round 20, so that's an issue. And it came straight from multiplayer. You don't think that's like? Don't you think that's really weird? Just a map just coming straight from multiplayer. Like I get it's Nuketown, it's iconic, but still.
Well, actually, that thing, the reason the fact it comes from multiplayer map that has constantly been remastered from BO1 and then BO2, the fact that it was like that automatically has to peg it down because it's lack of originality. And the Nuketown, and because it's a map from multiplayer designed for multiplayer shooting, it's clearly not designed for zombies. It's not optimized at all.
Yep, exactly. And it's basically one of those maps, like kind of like the first few World of War maps that are in the D tier. It's just another map to help the player get better if they're just beginning at zombies. So for that reason, it's probably going to stick in the bad tier. Right under Transit, because I don't think it's worse. Or I do think it's worse. Sorry.
You do think it's worse than Transit?
Yeah, I do think it's worse than
Transit.
Transit.
Crazy.
Which is really interesting because...
are you sure?
It all depends on the aspect,
Come
like
on,
especially
man.
if you're playing with other people too. Like, yeah. It's one of those maps where you can start, like, obviously like around 10, around 15, around 20. You can do that on Nuketown, but like Transit, it's just... If you're starting scratch from Transit, it's going to make things a lot easier, but compare that to Nuketown Zombies, where you can start off with a bunch of points at like round 10, and zombies are just going to come chasing after you. You're not even prepared.
You know, you might get Jug on round 5. You might get Jug on round 20.
Exactly.
You never know. However, for the record, I don't think it's worse than Transit in terms of execution, but I will keep it there. But it had some. Come on, man.
Okay, actually, yeah, fine. Switch it.
Come on,
yeah,
man.
I'll let it slide this one.
Transit is the worst map in Zombies in terms, if we don't count Cold War maps, it is the worst map in Zombies. It just is, man. It's a great execution, but good ideas executed poorly always look worse than bad ideas executed poorly. They always look worse.
I'd say like a lot differently about our next map that we're discussing right now. I would say that one's probably our bottom.
Oh, Die Rise. Okay, so Die Rise. I know people that hate this map. They really hate this map with a passion. They put it under Transit. They think this is the worst map in Zombies. You know what I think? I think this map is Transit when it comes to its ambitious ideas, where it's like super ambitious, but it actually kind of works. Not entirely at all. Like it's actually really bad in some areas, and the Who's Who perk is the worst perk in Zombies, objectively. It is Quick Revive, but much worse. Actually, it's Quick Revive, but much, much, much worse. Like it is the worst perk in the game ever. You start out with a pistol. Let's say it's like starting out round 1, but you're actually on round 30.
It's Quick Revive.
So bad.
It's Quick Revive with a ghost and without the Quick Revive.
Yeah, it's a long revive. That's what it is.
Yeah, there we go.
But the mechanics of jumping around make traversing the map a lot of fun, especially if it's your first time playing. You will have fun. However, if you've played the map for a long time, it's not fun. Getting from one side of the map to the other side of the map feels like it takes forever, at least for me. It feels like it takes so long because you have to go through this constant process of, going up elevators, waiting for them to come down. You have to wait. It is a map that was designed to make you quick on your feet, to be the most mobile. But for some reason, it's also a map that requires you to stand still to wait for elevators to pop up, which is a map which is so counterintuitive, it's kind of crazy. You and I think, though, I don't think it's an F tier. I think it's in D tier. I think it's in D tier, and I think that this map is above Noct. It's definitely better than Noct. I think it's better than Verrucht. I think it's better Verrucht. While the atmosphere in Verrucht I think is good, I think Die Rise atmosphere is a lot better in terms of China. It's the first map that's in China, and it's really cool.
Did you talk about fall damage?
Oh, yeah. Fall damage.
Yeah, you might want to rethink your decision there then.
Fall damage. I've never had a problem with fall damage on this map.
Oh, I have.
Because I'm not dumb. What I mean by that is I'm not going to jump from a 12-story building and expect to survive. If there's mattresses, that's where you should aim for, but I usually don't die to fall damage in this map. I don't have a problem with fall damage.
It's literally a vertical maze, though.
It's a vertical maze, but you don't have to... Every single way you progress in the map, you are not supposed to die from fall damage. There are quicker ways, like shortcuts people take. You know that shortcut where you kind of slide off the edge a little bit to catch one floor below?
Yeah.
That little thing? Yet you're not supposed to do that. You're not supposed to do that. It's not... The game did not intend for you to make that jump. So if you die from fall damage because you miss it, is that really the game's fault? The game didn't want. The game did not want you to do it. So I think that this game is better than Verrucht, and I think it's better than Shinonuma. I rest my case.
Okay.
But I also don't think it's better than any of the other maps above. It's significantly worse.
Okay. That's fair, I guess.
No, I want to talk about this map. Oh, you did.
Loser. Okay. Okay, Mob of the Dead. I think you guys are probably already going to know what we're going to say about this map. We just streamed this Easter egg like 3 months ago, too. And we had so much fun. I think we did 2 streams of this.
Yes, we did.
Are you adding in just
Yes, I am.
Man, get your bitch ass out of here, bro. Man.
What?
Man,
come on, it's the best map in all of Zombies.
Alright, well, I'll do the honors. That is our first S tier map of the night, so...
It's our first Tom Holland.
Yeah, our first Tom Holland. So, yeah, this is like the Spider-Man, like the MCU Spider-Man to Call of Duty Zombies' Mob of the Dead, if that makes sense.
It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. So, There's a lot of we could go on and on about this map all night, but obviously we have a limited video, so I will say the theme of this map. So Alcatraz Island, basically a movie in itself, especially with a lot of the characters being like very reminiscent to their voice actor counterparts, such as like Ray Liotta, who plays Billy Handsome, very similar. Other than that, the Afterlife mechanic, I say taking out Quick Revive and putting in Afterlife was a good idea, especially because after every round you receive another Afterlife.
It was a great idea.
It was a fantastic idea. I love it. I love all the dynamics, like Brutus. Brutus is cool, the Warden.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that you can use the Warden's key on a bunch of like little snippets in the map makes it like more interesting and more diverse than you want to get into. The Golden Spork is overpowered. The Hell's Redeemer and Hell's Retriever are overpowered. The Blundergat and Acid Gat, amazing wonder weapons. Probably like top 10 of all time.
That's what makes this map so good, really. Because while getting more stuff is possible, you can totally beat the game in Mob of the Dead only using box weapons. You can totally do it. But they give you the option of getting stuff that is not super absurdly hard to get and is so good. It gives you the chance to get things that will annihilate the zombies, and it's not a requirement. You don't have to do it, but it makes the game so much more fun to have these things, you know. And Brutus is probably the second best boss in all of zombies, maybe behind the Margwas, at least in my opinion.
Yeah, there we go.
But Brutus, the mechanic behind Brutus, he's not too hard to kill. He's actually pretty durable though. He's not too hard to kill. If you aim for the head, you will drop him quick. But if you don't know what you're doing against Brutus and it's your first time playing, he will rock you, and I think that's exactly how bosses should be.
Perfect. Yeah. So the Easter egg songs are also really good too. There's two of the best Easter egg songs on this map.
Where Are We Going? Where Are We Going is the best Easter egg song. I will fight anybody on it. Maybe it's rivaled by the remaster Blood of the Dead. That's the only one it's rivaled by.
Yeah, that's very true. Its Easter egg basically turns it into a movie itself. Like, if you already thought the plot and the intro cutscene was really good enough, do the Easter egg. It's going to turn it into a full-on movie. So, and also, like, the bridge. Functions, areas like the bridge has, like, a huge training spot, and Pack-a-Punch makes it easier, and you can get to high rounds a lot quicker. So, yeah, I would say, concluding this little segment, Mob of the Dead is our first S-tier map.
Moving on to Buried. I don't know how many people I will make upset with this thing, but I don't think that Buried is an A-tier map. Believe it or not. I think it is high B tier. High B tier. While Buried has a lot of great map qualities, some map qualities I think people think are really good, and I don't at all. People think Leroy is a good mechanic. I completely disagree. I do not like Leroy as a mechanic. It was a decent idea, but the mechanic is so stupid and so counterintuitive to co-op play because of how dumb people are. People in your game will straight up they won't try to ruin your game, but they will unintentionally be super annoying, shooting Leroy, screwing up everything for everybody because he'll keep running away. Time out, you have to go open his cell again and again and again. It makes the map so annoying. However, there are some great parts in this map. The Ray Gun Mark II is one of, if not my favorite wonder weapon in all of zombies. It also feels and looks really cool. But the problems with Buried include some things like the map to me feels really small. It's not actually that small, but it feels really small by how the map uses space, if that makes sense. You know how you're looking and you look from the part of the map where Leroy's cell is, and you look all the way to the haunted mansion. It doesn't actually, if you really look, it doesn't look that big. It makes you feel like the map is a lot smaller than what it is, and that's not always a bad thing, but for me, I don't know, it takes out the grandiose of the map a little bit, and that's my biggest problem with Buried, is that it's a map that looks really good. Like, if on the surface it looks really good, but but if you actually dig a little deeper, it's not as great with some of the mechanics. They're actually not as good as you think they are. In fact, they bog it down a lot. However, I still think the map is really good. Not really good. I think its map is good with its good qualities. I think its good qualities are a little bit over its bad ones because of everything it gave to future parts of Zombies, as well as its Easter egg actually being pretty cool. And the Always Running song, which was the song for this map, was really good. I loved it. So I gotta give this map above Call of the Dead in good tier. I think no, screw that. Under Call of the Dead. I prefer Call of the Dead, actually. Believe it or not, I know people are not going to agree with that, but I like Call of the Dead a little bit more. But I think that's, Buried. It's a good spot. It's a respectable spot. So that's Buried.
Perfect.
You got to talk about Origins and Mob of the Dead? That's not fair.
Yeah, well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the generation of S tier maps. So here's our next one, Origins. And since we're kind of sharing this list, I'll put this just slightly above if I can. Yeah, there we go.
That's bullshit.
This is my personal favorite map in all of Zombies. Origins, like, the 4 staves, the Easter egg, the fact that you have to let Samantha out of wherever she's at. What do I know by this point? And we get our Primus versions of our Ultimates crew. So Richtofen, Dempsey, Nikolai, and Takio. They all become their younger selves, and they're in this little quest to free Samantha from whatever hole she's been put in. There's a lot of useful things in this map, like the Maxis drone. You can do a free Easter egg to get the MG08 Pack-a-Punch on it. Pack-a-Punch is really, really easy to do. You just gotta go to all 6 generators and power them up. Easter egg is I wouldn't say complex, but it's not easy. Yeah, there's just a lot of good things about it. A few bad things I will say about this map, though.
Mud.
The mud. There we go.
Hated that. The mud is my least favorite part of the map. It makes traversing the map awful. And I think that, in my personal opinion, the map is, for me, is the second best map because its innovations were so good. Because it took everything we loved about Zombies and ramped it up to 20, but the problems with it, despite being so slight, I think that's why, my personal opinion, I think Mob of the Dead is better. He thinks Origins is better, and I totally understand why he thinks that way because while Mob of the Dead innovated a lot, Origins undeniably innovated more, and I totally agree with that. So. Anything else?
Yeah, another thing I will say is that on the Easter egg process, the one thing that's really irritating about this map is if you're trying to do the Easter egg, you're going to have to wait a good 45 minutes or an hour if you're doing this on solo, because the first step of the Easter egg is you have to build and upgrade every single staff. So there's 4 of them. So you have to build and upgrade all of them to start the Easter egg, which is, I would say, is really irritating for me because I try to do Easter egg speedruns on this map. My fastest speedrun I've done is probably 2.5, 3 hours on this map just because of that setup process. Yeah. So yeah. Other than that, I have nothing else bad to say about Origins. Those weren't really bad things either. It was just like irritating things. But yeah, I'm pretty sure people can work around it. I mean, look at some of the world record holders. Some people got it in less than an hour, and they know how to set up. So yeah. Well, that's it.
So next map, I agree with that. Next map. Shadows of Evil. I know exactly where I'm putting this. I'm putting it right behind Mob. For me, it is actually exactly right here. It is my 3rd favorite map in all of Zombies. 4th is Dreisendrach, but that is neither here nor there. Shadows of Evil. Let's talk about everything I personally love about Zombies. Everything I love. It has everything I love about Zombies. The boss in the game is, I would think that, in my personal opinion, I think that you could maybe, you can make an argument for Brutus being better, but I think that the Margwa is probably the best boss in all of Zombies. The Margwa is not hard at all to beat, but it's also a formidable foe if you're surprised by the Margwa, or if you have no idea what's going on, you just started, the Margwa is a formidable foe. But like most bosses, what they should be, if you know things about the bosses, you have experience there, and you know how to fight them, they are easily beaten. And I think that's how all bosses and zombies should be. There should be a tiny learning curve, not too big, but once you get past that learning curve, they should be really easy to beat. And I think that's what Amargua is. I think that the map has everything. It even has stuff you don't need. Like, let's be honest, the tram, you really don't need the tram. Like, or the metro, where the flying train, whatever.
Yeah.
What do you call that?
The tram. It's a tram.
It is a tram? Okay. The tram, I personally do not think you need that in the map. I like the map so much, I am willing to run around in like circles across the map because I like it that much. The cast is awesome. Every single one of them I like. Yes, even Jackie Vincent. Whether a lot of people do not like Jackie Vincent because of his lines, I think they're cool as hell. Say what you want, but the idea of like a 1920s style cop, fighting zombies and saying lines, that's kind of how I'd imagine him saying lines, especially in a place known as Morgue City, which, oh my god, I didn't even realize that. Morgue City. Morgue. Like a morgue. M-O-R-G-U-E. Like a where dead people are.
It is spelled differently though. So
it is spelled differently, but I know that's what they.
Yeah,
I think
they intended it to be.
That's the intention. I didn't even know that until just now. Oh my god, I'm stupid. But the atmosphere of this map. Sorry, but if we're going by pure atmosphere, I think that Map of the Dead may be slightly better. This map is probably the second best or maybe the best map in all of Zombies if we go by atmosphere. You really feel like you are in the 1920s. It makes you feel... The map is just so awesome in every single way. There is really nothing that bad about it. Like, at all. The only bad thing is that you cannot do the full Easter egg on solo. That's the only bad thing. That's the only bad thing I can think of. Everything else is great. So, Status Evil, comfortably, S tier right behind Mob and Origins.
Sweet. Well, let's add another one to that list, shall we?
I got it.
Yep, there we go. We can add that. We can put it up. I would say, do you want to see above Shadows or below?
I would vote below, but I wouldn't hate it if it was above. I think it's below, though.
Really, it fits kind of like either way, like when you look at the two maps. But Horizon is like a mix of 3 of the best maps of all time. Origins, because of the bows and how it compares to the staffs. Mob of the Dead, because of how it compares to the Cerberus heads to the dragon heads, and I have to feed him to get the bow. And Moon for the Easter egg ending, where instead of blowing up the Earth, you blow up the Moon. So, just taking the accountability of those 3 aspects and those 3 maps, you can't deny that it's probably the best map, or one of the best maps in Zombies, because all of the aspects that is taken from every single like past, or one of the few past maps, you put it into one map and you make it 10 times better. Only, obviously, you can tell from our angle right here. There's two of the maps that are involved with DE, the Origins and Mob of the Dead, are ahead of it. So we don't need to really make a debate about it. But other than that, DE's Easter egg's really easy. The boss fight is simple. You can probably get it done in like 6 minutes if you know the exact strategy to it. Any gun is useful. Black Ops 3 just has a tendency to have like the greatest, some of the greatest maps of all time. Apparently,
there is not a single map in Black Ops 3 Zombies that is bad. Every single one is either decent or Tom Holland level.
Yeah, see. Yeah, so yeah, again, this game's on Black Ops 3. It's probably the best Zombies story of all time, hands down. Best Zombies game too. So the Panzer returns on this map. We forgot to talk about that on Origins, but yeah, the Panzer returns on DE, and literally the easiest thing ever just to take care of them.
It's actually, I mean, if you don't have a bow, they're actually a really formidable foe, and I'm fine with that. But they're actually they're actually kind of hard to beat. Like if you don't have pack-a-punch weapons, it's round 12, Panzer just spawned. It's actually, if you don't have a bow, it's kind of hard to beat them.
Yeah, and like the quests to get like all the bows, like with the void bow, you have to figure out the one in the urn's name through some sort of apothecary symbols. And like for the wolf bow, you go through the story of the Wolf King and how he came to be and how he fell. there really wasn't much context to the lightning bow, and nor the fire bow. But yeah, just you get to see some like really cool backstories behind those upgrades. So yeah, I'd say that's pretty much it. It takes the story of Dempsey further, and so he can get this counterpart and make sure he doesn't rule the universe with the other guys, and takes his soul. So yeah, that's really pretty much it for Dryzen.
So on to Zetsubo no Shima. This map, I think this is an appropriate place for this map. Others may disagree. I think it is at the top of Okie Doke. I think that's my personal opinion. It is not a bad map. People saying that Zetsubo is a bad map are not very smart. This map is not that bad. Everything that you think is bad about the map, every other map has that exact quality, and people love those maps. This map was just treated harshly by the setup process, and that's very fair. The setup is bad, but some of the stuff, but people don't think, people for some reason forget. Zombies has always been about getting optional stuff, and if you want to go by setup, Mob of the Dead has a pretty difficult setup, and Origins has a terrible setup. But I also think that if you think that you love Origins, despite its setup process, you should probably like Zetsubo no Shima a lot, despite its setup process, because while the setup process is bad, you only are some of the stuff you only need for the Easter egg. You only need for the Easter egg. You do not need it for anything else, just the Easter egg. Everything else you can get is totally optional.
Most of the stuff that you're building on Zetsubo is like, that's really all it is. It's the same thing with Shadows of Evil. Like, most of the Easter egg is just building things. Building and upgrade things.
The Wonder Weapon, while the Wonder Weapon, the KT4 is good, it is not nearly a requirement if you realize that most of the weapons in the box are insanely good. The marshals are insane on the map.
They stacked this map with DLC weapons.
Double packed marshals. You do not need the KT4. You don't need it. It is not a requirement. However, the KT4 building part is really the only process that I think that bogs down the game a little bit, because while I did talk about the setup process before, it's a wonder weapon. Everybody wants to get the wonder weapon. Why wouldn't you? So it's not, while it's optional, it's not really optional for people that want to actually experience the map. So I think that it is an okie doke tier, because the atmosphere is great, setup process is all great, the Easter egg is good. The more I talk about this map, the more I'm shifting, because the more I think about this map, there's a lot less bad in this map than good. There is much more good in this map than bad, and its Easter egg process and everything, and the setup process itself is harsh. That is the only thing that's bad about this map that I can think of. Everything else is good. Oh, I almost forgot. Sorry.
You're trying to move back.
Almost forgot. Sorry, the Thrashers are probably the worst boss in Zombies. So I gotta go back.
Exactly.
I gotta go back down to Okie Dokie.
They're not hard to kill, but if you kill those things, they don't reward you with anything.
They don't reward you anything, and while they aren't hard to kill, they're really, because of the sheer numbers of how much show up per round sometimes, they will just straight up surprise you, and if they surprise you, they'll insta-kill you. Like,
if you have Juggernaut, you'll get an instant red screen if you get hit once.
Yeah, and if you get surprised around a corner, let's say, and they hit you, obviously it's like a player panic sort of thing, where you'll be in a panic because your screen's red, it's harder to see, and you'll be like really scared because you're about to go down. It makes going down so much easier, because you can't see anything, you're panicking and stuff like that. That is really a synopsis of Zetsubo no Shima. You'll be running around a corner into the bunker, let's say, and a Thrasher's right there charging at you and hits you, and you kill it, but it takes you down. It kills you. You don't get anything for killing it. It was a waste of time. That is Thrasher. So I think Zetsubo no Shima comfortably goes in Okie Doke.
Sweet. Okay, Garad. So here's another good map. I'm not exactly sure where I want to put this map right now. I'll just get into it. So, dragons. It's a cool theme, right? And it's in the middle of the Stalingrad War. It was like 1940 something, I think.
Yeah, it's Stalingrad. It's during I think it's in 1944 or 1945.
Is it
Battle of Stalingrad?
Is it part of World War II?
Yes.
I'm so bad at history, guys.
It's
Okay.
it's part of World War II. Battle of Stalingrad. Nazis invaded the city, and it became the place where there were really the most horrific atrocities, and the war was fought hardest in Stalingrad. And this was the point when the Soviets pushed back the Nazis. This is the first point where the Soviets pushed back the Nazis.
Yeah, you get to ride a dragon in this, just to pack a punch, though. The Easter egg is, like, I would say it's well designed. I think the bomb step, like, when it first came out, everybody thought it was, like, probably the hardest step in all of zombies, and you cannot get it done. Do it a few times. It's super easy. Watch a couple videos on it. Just get, like, a whole feel of it. And, yeah, and then the Easter egg is basically yours for the taking. The boss fight's really easy. You not only get one boss, but you get two bosses. So you fight the dragon, and you fight Nikolai. Yeah, that's for the Easter egg. The Ray Gun Mark III is in there, obviously, and I would say it helps a lot in the terms of slowing down zombies and for some of like the trophy steps. So like if you're escorting like the Valkyrie drone, it'll definitely help for slowing down zombies and just kind of having them leave you alone. So yeah, the Gauntlet of Siegfried is really interesting. I love how there's like a little dragon on it, and you can like spray fire from it, and you can also launch it so it'll just fly around and just kill zombies while you're just throwing the Iron Fist at it. So, trying to think if there's anything else that I want to talk about for this map.
The Ray Gun Mark III around round 70 like craps out though.
Yeah, it's
if you're going around
to a decently high round, yeah, it's gonna crap out.
If you're trying to get around 100 on this map, you should trade in the Ray Gun Mark III at around 70 something, and you'll mostly be using the Gauntlet.
I love the shield dynamic too. How they just decided to go with a full new shield instead of the basic rocket shield, or like the shield in Zetsubo. So this one sprays dragon fire, amazing. So yeah, I pretty much think that's all I got to say. Pack a Punch is super easy. Other than that, this isn't a hard map, but it's really fun. Too bad it's a DLC because like I think it would have been a great like just base map on the game, but obviously it's Black Ops 3, so whether it is or it isn't, then it's still going to be a good map, by the way. But I would give this a bottom S tier map.
Bottom S tier?
Bottom S tier.
Are you serious?
I don't really know what other maps would fit over that.
Oh my god.
I would say those five
That's a little bit too high.
I would say those five would round out our S's.
Oh shit, it does.
I would say those round out our S's really good.
It does, yeah.
Those are perfect for our S tier maps.
I mean, I wouldn't put Garrote in S tier.
I've had Garrote in my S tier list forever.
Darius is below Garrote.
Well, by one. I mean.
Well, yeah, but alright. I mean, this is our own list, so
yeah.
Screw it.
And we're kind of screwing up our own ideas anyways because we're putting our different maps like obviously you put Shangri-La in C. I was gonna put it in top B.
That's weird. Why would you put it? The map is not fun to play. It's while it has some great, albeit great elements, the fact that map is not fun to play automatically bogs it down for me. That is the entire point of zombies maps, to be fun to play. And if it's not a fun to play map, sometimes certain maps in zombies are fun to play because they're hard. This map is so hard, it kind of supersedes that in a way that it goes beyond that. And it's so hard to play that instead of feeling fun because it's such a challenge, it's more like, this is impossible, I want to die. It's that kind of hard.
Yeah. But yeah, anyways, so that rounds our...
I am specifically talking about the Black Ops 1 version. I am not talking about Zombies Chronicles.
Oh, okay. So I was thinking, yeah, Zombies Chronicles has mostly to do with...
I would argue that we should only do the Black Ops 1 versions.
Yeah, we probably should... Yeah,
and the World of War maps. So I don't think we've made it as like disclaimer. We are when it comes to Shinonuma, Varuk, Nocturne, Toten, and Ascension, Shangri-La, 5, Keener, Toten, and Call of the Dead and Moon, and Darius, I am specifically talking about the Black Ops 1 and World War versions.
So the original,
except for Darius. Darius, I am talking about the Black Ops 1 version, not the World of War version, because the Black Ops 1 version I think it's Black Ops 1 version is not a bad remaster. I think it's a perfect remaster, but it changed one glaring issue with the past stories, the World at War one, and it removed the Wonderwaff getting rid of your jug. I think that was the only change they needed to do, and that was the only change they really did. And that's why I think I'm only going to count it as Black Ops 1 version, but maybe it's not fair because I'm not counting these as Zombies Chronicles, in which, if we're going by Zombies Chronicles, they're all improved. But then it would be like, then we're giving so much love to Black Ops 3, it's not even really fair. It's a Black Ops 3 list.
Yeah, it pretty much is. I mean, look at our S tier.
Well. Then, if we're going by Zombies Chronicles, all of these maps would be above C tier. They'd be in C tier or above.
They would all be.
There would be nothing in D tier except for these maps. They'd all be in D tier. Okay, so
yeah, we rounded out our S tier. So let's
move on to Revelations.
Okay.
Revelations.
I've had mixed feelings about this map for a while.
This map, I've heard people say this map is really good, or this map is really bad. I personally think that this map is mediocre. Like, completely mediocre. This map has some cool ideas. I also think it has some awful ideas. Because some of the ideas, while it was cool, like seeing the whole, how the storyline is culminating into these islands, I think that's kind of cool. I also think it's not cool, what's on the islands and how it's literally just all the old areas. There is 2 new areas in this map. Only 2. The spawn and inside the Margwa. That is, or the Apothecon. That is the only 2 unique areas in the map. That is crazy. That is why I do not think this map is in really good or even good. I think it's an okie dokie.
Like just think about it. We could have gotten a Great War map over this.
Yeah, it could have been the Great War map. It could have been anything other than this. And I think it's automatically bogged down by the fact that what's in place of it could have been so much better if Treyarch pushed for something else. Like the Great War map, that would have been so much better. I think that this map... would you say it's above Zetsubo or below Zetsubo? I would say above. What would you?
Yeah, I would say above.
This map, Revelations, it's a mediocre map. Easter egg is really good though. I like the Easter egg, or at least the ending rather. I like the ending a lot. I think it's cool, and it was
very unsatisfying, honestly.
Really? I thought it was the perfect beginning of Black Ops 4 Zombies. I'm not saying Black Ops 4 Zombies did good. I just think it was the perfect beginning. The way they could have ended it to start Black Ops 4, they did great. But I do agree, though, that it felt unsatisfying that we didn't get the Great War map. But also, another reason why it's an okie dokie, the Shadow Man was the boss. We've already fought that boss in Shadows of Evil. We've already fought the Shadow Man. We don't need to fight him again. That's why I think that he is just... Another reason it's bogged down, it's not in good tier, is Shadow Man, so it kind of makes the Easter egg a little bit more lame. So that's just my thoughts on Revelations.
Okay, well, we're getting into Black Ops 4 now, and I'm already not liking this right now.
I'll do the honors.
Yeah, perfect. There we go. So, Blood of the Dead's easy F tier because it took everything that I love or that we love about Mob of the Dead and it shrunk it down. So there was a lot of things that were taken out, such as like the Afterlife mode. Instead, you use a spectral shield and you shield blast things, and you can't go on the bridge anymore. And I just feel like when we saw the reveal trailer for the Premise crew being inside Alcatraz prison, we thought this was going to be like the ultimate crossover ever, like a Marvel movie or something like that. But it was far from that. Because as soon as the map released, the hype kind of just all sank down. I think like for the first couple of days, people thought this map was actually like good until they realized all the stern aspects of Black Ops 4 and they put it into Blood of the Dead as a map, and they thought it was terrible. So
they took everything but Mob of the Dead and they tried to innovate on everything that we loved about Mob of the Dead, and they innovated completely backwards.
Yeah.
Everything we loved about it, they tried to innovate it and change it. The problem with that is that was everything we loved about Mob of the Dead. So ultimately they made everything we loved about Mob of the Dead. It just made it worse. They made it completely worse. They removed the really cool plane sequence. We had to build the plane. Super unique idea. Very cool. Removed it because who the hell likes being unique? They added, the stupid Blundergat varieties. Acid Gat was already in, but the Acid Gat's good. But they added the Magma Gat.
The Magma Gat was pretty good, actually.
It's good. I don't like the idea though. It's like innovation for the sake of innovating, not innovation for the sake of making better.
It's like a reverse good on paper scenario for the Magma Gat, though.
Everything that they were doing with this map was not made to be good. It was just made to be different than Mob of the Dead. And that was the biggest flaw with this map, is that while already the map is bogged down because of Black Ops 4's entire system, in my opinion, like the specialists making maps a lot more easy than they should be. While it's being bogged down by that, the map itself is just not good. It's not good at all. The atmosphere is great, but other than that, there is not a single thing that I can point to and say I like about this map. Everything is what Mob was, but made worse. And the Easter egg is just really annoying and, in my opinion, awful.
The Easter egg sucked.
Yeah, it was
terrible.
It was really bad. It was a sad ending, and I like how they did make me feel sad, but I also think that it was really dumb.
I think that's what saved this map from being bottom F tier, so the worst map in Zombies, and that was the ending.
Well, I think it's not the worst map in Zombies because while I think that it innovated and everything I liked about Mob made it backwards, the parts that were Mob, like the main map and stuff, were still awesome. Like the atmosphere was super great. Like the whole actual prison part of the map is straight like it was in Mob of the Dead, and that's and me personally, that's why it's not bottom tier, because at least they didn't change and manipulate that. Because if they did change that, then it would have been straight up the worst map of Zombies, because then there would be nothing I can cling on to that I loved about Mob of the Dead.
I would say if this was a Black Ops 3 map, it would be way higher.
Yeah, I'd say that, because the Black Ops 3 mechanics automatically make the map. I think a lot of the reasons why the Black Ops 3 maps are better, like in a lot of ways, than Black Ops 4 maps, in my opinion, is because the mechanics of Black Ops 3 are the best mechanics in all of Zombies.
Yeah, you just take a map like Blood of the Dead, who's like, it's a really bad map, and you just put it on a Black Ops 3 engine. It's going to be 10 times better.
The mechanics of the game, the mechanics of Black Ops 3 make it so much better. Would make it so much better. And if you also change the map in a way that makes it more like Black Ops 3, as in parts are not super stupidly easy to find, but are also not hard to find. You can find them on your own. I think that would make this map and a lot of other Black Ops 4 maps so much better if it was more like Black Ops 3. Like building stuff in Black Ops 3 is so easy, and not easy because it's naturally easy, like so easy to find, but if you play for a while, you'll just know. You'll know all the spots. And BO4, for me, I never could get a grasp on familiarity no matter how many times I played the maps. But BO3, I was always familiar all the time. So I think that Blood of the Dead is in a comfortable spot in bad tier, but high bad tier. Not as bad as Nuketown, not as bad as Transit, but it is one of the worst maps. On to Classified.
I did Blood.
I did Blood.
No, I did Blood. You do Rev.
Oh.
Yeah, so you basically, you took most of the words out of me. So you got Classified now, bro.
I stole that.
No, you're good.
You can do Classified then.
I'll do part of Classified, I guess. Okay, this is the same scenario with Blood in a sense. So they took everything I like about 5 and they dimmed it down again. There's a couple extra rooms that you can go into, but they replaced the Pentagon Thief with Hellhounds. They did buff the Winter's Howl, which is actually nice. Regular Mark II's there. Gotta be honest, I really can't think of much of this map. It's literally just 5, but even worse, I would say.
I would say Classified it's actually a really fine whatever okie dokie map. If you turn your brain off and you're not thinking at all, you just want to play a game of zombies, let's say, I think it's a great map for that. It's not one you have to think too hard. the parts that you're finding are so stupid. That whole like the part we have to find the teleporter parts to go to Area 51 to get to the Pack-a-Punch. I hate that. I don't think you need to search around for parts to find to build the teleporter. I think they should have done it differently. But cool idea, but come on, man. When are they going to learn that we don't always want to search around for parts for every single thing? I don't want to build... It is essentially building the Pack-a-Punch, and I don't want to build the Pack-a-Punch. They should have learned from Transit. Nobody wants to build the Pack-a-Punch.
Right.
So I would put Classified, because of the good elements, it takes 5. And would you say it improves 5, or would you say it...
I would say it slightly demotes 5, so I would honestly... I'd put it under Kino. I'd do bottom C tier.
Under Kino? That's crazy.
I mean, I'll play it. I'll play Classified, just like I play 5. But, like...
I guess I understand that. That's actually not a bad place for it. I agree with that.
I guess we should also take in the accountability once we're ranking these. I think we should take in the accountability of replayability, too.
Yeah, Classified is not very replayable.
Nah, it's not. Like... I say for me it is, but obviously for not a lot of people.
It's not playable for me. It's a map that I'll play it if I have nothing to do, I'm bored, and I just want to shut my brain off and do something. But I would argue 5 has more replay value than Classified, because 5's challenge is like Shangri-La to where it's stupidly hard. 5's challenge, though, if you mix in the charisma from the cast members, their lines, which are always super entertaining. If you mix in the, fact that it's super cool because it's in the fucking Pentagon, super cool. If you add that in, it makes for an experience that is just barely to a point where it is replayable. Like, you will like playing it again because of course you can play as JFK in 5. Is that not awesome? Like, it may be the hardest map, but the difference between 5 and Shangri-La. Yeah, I'll keep it 5 under Shangri-La. But the difference between 5 and Shangri-La is the charisma of the cast make it a lot more replayable for me. Because while the Ultimates crew is cool in Shangri-La, it's not nearly as cool as the only time in all of the games you play as JFK, Robert McNamara, you play as Nixon, you play as Castro. Those are... I cannot believe that was in a Zombies game. Can you imagine if you've never played Zombies and you explain to your friend that's never played Zombies exactly the cast members of this specific map and who you play as, and that it's in the Pentagon? They would fucking go bananas because it's super cool and it's super weird and I love it. We actually went off on a tangent right there. Jesus. But yeah, I think Classified's a comfortable spot under Kino and Okie Dokie. On to Voyage of Despair.
Okay.
I know.
Okay, look. I will say the concept at first was really cool. But the huge thing that really dims this map to where it's at right now is the fact that everybody wanted a certain Easter egg ending to this map. And that was saving the Titanic from being sunk.
That's stupid as fuck.
Everybody wanted that, though.
Yeah. See, I understand that because it makes it so you feel like you actually won something for completing the stupid, hard, brain-dead Easter egg. But it never felt like that. Once you beat it, if you watch like the actual cutscene, you didn't feel like you won at all. You got on a boat and left. You didn't win. You just left. Like, is that really winning? Like, in Revelations, you beat the Shadow Man. You won. You beat him. In Origins, you free Samantha. You free her. You get out of there. You free her. You win. In Mob of the Dead, in Mob of the Dead, you break the cycle. You die. But if you break the cycle, there's so much cool lore there that you change everything in this kind of paranormal process, which is already super cool. You basically break this cycle of purgatory, which is just from that sentence really cool. a map like Moon, well, actually, a map like Moon, that's one where you didn't really win. But the difference between that and Moon is because watching missiles blow up the Earth is a lot cooler than watching the Titanic sink, in my opinion. But that's just me. So that's my opinion. So
I feel like this is weird talking about the Titanic sinking, given what just happened like a couple days ago.
Oh my god. The submarines, man.
We're not gonna bring that conversation up though. So, anyways,
that was awful, dude.
I would say the typical ending of what people wanted. I would say that's one of the things that dimmed it down. I would say one of the good things about it though is the boss fight. The boss fight is really cool. You fight like this giant like eye creature. I don't really know exactly what it's
Kraken.
called.
Is it the Kraken?
Kraken's an octopus.
Is it not the Kraken?
No, it's just a giant eyeball that you fight.
Hold on.
Well, anyways, so yeah, you fight a giant eyeball in the boss fight. That's all that's like really like noticeable about the map. Other than that, it's way too big. I get the Titanic is giant, but it is for a zombies map, that is way too big. I would say it's really hard to navigate because there's all these little rooms that go back and forth, and all these crevices that you jump into and stuff. Yeah, it's really weird. But I would say, finishing off that conversation, Voyage of Despair sticks right under Blood of the Dead in the bad tier.
Oh my god. I'm looking at like this like online. Nobody else seems to know what it is. It's just a giant eye.
Yeah, it's just a giant eye.
Jesus.
That's why I said you only fight a giant eye.
That's lame as hell. 9. Moving on to 9. I don't have much to say about this map actually, other than it's really good. I think it's a really good tier, in my opinion.
Sweet.
I think it's not better. Actually, I think it's better than Moon.
I was gonna say it's.
I think it's better than Moon. I think it's under Dries though, but I think it's better than Moon. It's all around. It is unironically the best map in Black Ops 4 Zombies. It is for me. It's the best. Maybe you could make an argument for Ancient Evil though. Ancient Evil could be better than 9. I don't think so though. I disagree. I think 9 is better. It's much more simple, but also kind of not complex. But it's not. It doesn't treat you like a brain dead idiot, but it's also pretty simple. It's not. It's a perfect map to, just like Classified, it's perfect map to shut off your brain. But you're not shutting off your brain because there's not much to do. You're shutting off your brain because the landscape of the map and the actual map itself gives you the perfect opportunity to shut off your brain because of how simple the map is shaped like a wheel. It's super simple to move around the map, stuff like going in the underground area. Everything is silky smooth. However, the map can be complex with the items and stuff if you want to make it that way. And I think that's exactly how you should do a map. It's exactly how you should do it. Wonder Weapon, Death of Orion, good Wonder Weapon. I think that it's not a very memorable Wonder Weapon, but I think that they could have done so much worse with the Wonder Weapon, and I'm glad there was the Death of Orion. I really don't have much to say about this map. My only just thing that, like most of Chaos Story's Easter egg endings, hated the ending. Like, who designed these endings? Like,
the ending made no sense.
You won the map, and your reward for winning was death. Like, what is wrong with, like, what is this writing?
Well, luckily this map was.
You don't win anything. You don't win anything. I know it was technically a dream, drug overdose, whatever. It was a drug trip. I still think you shouldn't have just died in the end. That really pissed me off. Like, you go through all this work. You don't need to be super well rewarded for winning, but like, you want to at least feel like you won, and you just don't really feel like you win in this map. Just like most of the Chaos maps, you don't feel like in the end you win, and that is not my biggest problem with the Chaos maps at all, but one of the major problems I have. So that's 9.
This next one like makes me laugh a bit.
I
so
hate this
Dead
map.
of the Night. Yeah, so Caleb hates this map, but I personally really like this map.
I go with your pick, but if you put it anywhere above B, I'm gonna be really mad.
I'm not gonna put it anywhere, but I was gonna put it right between Call of the Dead and Buried.
I will compromise. I'll compromise with you, and I'll agree to that. But
Because there's this little thing about
I don't
it
agree
that-
with it. But oh my god, wrong
wrong
place.
one.
I don't agree with that. But I understand why you might like it if you because you played it a lot, right? You're familiar with everything about it. Vampires and zombies is the stupidest fucking thing I've ever heard. but it is a unique idea. It is unique, and I think that's definitely something good.
I love the giant manor that it takes place in too. I see it's really beautiful scenery. Pack-a-Punch is pretty easy. 3 little trials, and you put the tuning forks in. You go to the woods. You fight a giant werewolf. That's not the biggest problem though. Obviously, like what you just said, the Nosferatus or the vampires. Those are the biggest problem. Because once you get hit, they delay your regeneration for I believe 10 seconds.
I don't hate them because they're hard to fight or like difficult to fight. I hate them because they're stupid. They should not be in zombies, in my opinion. In Call of Duty Zombies, vampires and werewolves being in zombies is so fucking stupid. It is quite insane, and the entire layout and what you do in the map is so outlandishly foreign to zombies. It's one of those maps where some people love it and some people hate it, and because of the fact that it strays so far of what made us like about zombies, it shows me that the people developing the map really didn't learn about like what makes people like maps. And objectively, well, maybe not objectively, I don't want to say objectively, but in my opinion, what proves that is the lack of sales Dead of the Night got. It is the most undersold map in all zombies.
I'm pretty sure like at least 75% of the zombies community doesn't even know it exists.
Like, nobody knows this map, and people that do know this map hate it or love it, and I don't like it, but he likes it, and there are good stuff about the map. There are definitely good stuff, so I don't mind that.
Well, I love how the Easter egg is actually really easy. Like if you look all over YouTube, you'll see these Easter egg guides, and they're like almost an hour long. It isn't that long. The Easter egg does not take that long. I beat the Easter egg in an hour and 10 minutes with you. There
we go. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, it was like an hour in 10 minutes, something like that. We failed a bunch, though.
We did fail a couple times, but like, obviously I was trying to get you through that first time though. So once we actually beat it, it was like maybe an hour 10, hour 20 minutes. Super easy. Boss fight was quick, even though it seems hard. But other than that, there's really nothing much you have to say about Dead of the Night other than I would say once you get higher and higher into the rounds, it also has the chance of that red Nosferatu spawning.
Oh yeah, that stops your health regeneration.
It does that, but he also jumps on you and claws your face. I think because like the little cutscene of him just like biting you and stuff like that.
Yeah, denizen flashbacks.
Yeah, it's practically like a venomous denizen.
The next map on this list is Ancient Evil. I personally, I played this map quite a few times. Never enough to really explore this map. There is probably areas in this map I have never seen in my entire life. I don't think I'm comfortable completely rating this. So, how much do you play this map? Have you played this map?
I played this map quite a few. I haven't tried to get like any of the wonder weapons or anything, but I know the statistics of the map.
We really don't know enough about this map to rate it.
No, we don't. But honestly,
from what I know about it, I would put in really good. From what I know about it, it seems good.
You just switched the map.
Oh, I did?
Yeah, it's, you know.
Oh my god.
It's in between. Yeah. There you go.
It's from what I know about Ancient Evil, I would put it in really good because the parts of it that I have played, I liked, I enjoyed, but I could never keep playing it because once again, it wasn't really the map's fault. The BO4 engine is just not good with this map. This map itself is good, but the BO4 engine makes me not really want to play this map as much, which is similar for every map in BO4. It just makes me not want to play it as much. 9 is probably the most compatible. Like, the engine is not good. It's good for this map, for 9, because you're just running in a circle for this map. Like, it's pretty easy, but Ancient Evil, you don't really want to play the map. Like, you don't really want to play the map, but you know the map's good. But it's not the map's fault. It's the game's fault. It's the engine of BO4's fault, and that's my opinions on Ancient Evil. I would say it's below Moon in terms of really good.
Yep.
But that's just me. Alpha Omega, your turn, man.
I'm really not looking to grade this map right now. I want to see where you put this first.
You want to see where I put it?
I want to see where you want to put this. I have exactly where I'm going to put it. I want to see where you want to put it.
I put it there. That's my personal opinion. But I'm debating on whether putting it here or here. These are the only two spots that I feel are compatible. It's either here or here.
Believe it or not, I was going to put it like very bottom D tier.
That's way too high.
I wouldn't say so. I'd say it's better than Nuketown just by a little bit, if anything.
You might say that, but it's not in D tier. It is a map that is so unoriginal. It's so fucking unoriginal. It's baffling. It is a map that takes exactly the concept of Nuketown, and instead of improving it, makes it basically it tries to add these things that it imagines as improvements, but do not improve anything. Because the map was not designed to be a zombies map. They tried to change it to design it to be a zombies map. When are they going to learn that the layout of the map is just not a good zombies layout? It's not a good layout. The bunker area is ripped off from Blackout. It is super uninteresting. It's not fun to visit. They could have done cool stuff like a creepy bunker where the lights are out. You don't really know what's going on. It's a cool idea, which they did do with D Machine, where it's like you go into the underground area. And the first time I did it, I'm just gonna say the first time I went in the underground area, I shit my pants. Like, not actually, but it's scary because zombies doesn't do that a lot, and they had the perfect opportunity in Alpha Omega to do something like that, and they never did it. They huge wasted opportunity to actually be unique. There is not one single thing in this map that they did that was unique other than the elemental Nova Crawlers, of which I already hate Nova Crawlers. I hate them. So that's already they were unique on something I hated already. So this map is the most boring map in Black Ops 4 Zombies, in my opinion. And in general, it's so unoriginal and ununique that it just sucks. It's so awful. It has to be below these maps because at least these maps tried to be unique. They tried to be different.
At least those maps have a context to it.
However, Nuketown Zombies, in my opinion, Nuketown Zombies is a little bit higher because the one good thing that Nuketown Zombies does, while the perk system is stupid, the one good thing that Nuketown Zombies does is that it's a great training run. For players who are not good at zombies, this map is great to train you in. Because I know that the whole, you might not get Jug around 5, but you might also not get it around 20 thing. Sometimes, that's a good thing. If you're trying to learn zombies, that's good. It teaches you to be able to fight without perks for enough time. And it allows you to become a better player because you have less stuff. You have less perks, you have stuff like that. And you won't always get Jug until like around 20, and for those 20 rounds, it forces you to be a good player and forces you to make cool decisions and to it trains you to fight without perks sometimes, which especially if it's especially if you're just getting up after getting down and you're on round 30, you don't have any perks, you got to go rebuy them. It teaches you for that moment, and I think that's the one good thing that Nuketown Zombies does, and that's something that is a little bit more unique than Alpha Omega. So I gotta put Alpha Omega. Oh wait, it's yours. Sorry.
But I'll put Alpha Omega. Yeah, that works actually. I was gonna put it bottom D, but once you talked about all that stuff, yeah.
I hate this map. It's so bad. It's everything. Nuketown Zombies. We already don't like Nuketown Zombies. Oh, let's try to optimize it for BO4. I don't like BO4's engine. Oh, let's design the map in a better way so that it's totally a good zombies map. Oh my god, they designed it in a way that makes it even worse. Like, they added areas of the map. Even the areas of the new areas of the map were unoriginal because they were areas added from Blackout. They were unoriginal.
Which is exactly like the one reason why Blood and Voyage are above Alpha is because they have context to it too.
They have context, and they tried to be different. Blood of the Dead, while Blood of the Dead added new stupid areas sometimes, at least the areas were unique. At least they tried to be different, and some of the areas were decently cool.
Yeah.
And well, I think that they overall bogged down the map. At least they tried to do something else. And I think that this is a great precedent to set for the list, because while a map that's okay but has no original ideas, like the map is, it's not a bad design map, but it's also totally not unique. I think a map like that should not be a good map. It should not be considered a good map, because the maps that at least try to do something different, even if they suck at the execution, should be better than a map that is just completely unoriginal throughout the entire thing. I think that because playing it safe should never be rewarded at all. In my opinion, zombies, they should always try to be unique. Granted, they shouldn't be wacky, crazy, Dead of the Night crazy. Like, they shouldn't be like that crazy, but they should try to have a different theme for every map, and Alpha Mega doesn't even have a theme. It has no theme. There's nothing to it. It sucks.
There's Alpha.
Hot take.
There's Alpha FF. Perfect.
Tagged or Toten?
Horrible.
Tagged or Toten? What can I say about Tagged or Toten? It's not a bad map.
The Easter egg was shit too.
Yeah, the Easter egg's bad, but the map is not bad. It's just alright. I'm gonna do this though. Do you want to rank Farm, Bus Depot, and Town? Do you want to rank those?
Do you want to do now?
I'll put Town really good, but
I was gonna put Town in B. Yeah, we'll just get straight away with those because we already did Transit. So put Farm bottom D. Bus Depot F. I would say under Alpha.
I would say under Transit.
Okay, actually, yeah, because
it doesn't have any perks. It doesn't have any pack punch. It is somehow more bare bones than Nocturne and Toten.
Yeah, so
which the only excuse Nocturne and Toten had was that it's the first zombies map. That was the only excuse Nocturne and Toten had. This map has no excuse, so that's why it has to be here. But
it's practically just there.
On Tagged or Toten, actually, I'll talk about Town first. I think Town's really bottom A, because Town was really the only good free map that we got in Black Ops 2. It was the only good one. This map is actually pretty fun. It has pack punch. Everything's central. It's not super big. It's not big at all, and it is small. But those memories on it that I had and the map layout itself, they're just good. It's all around good. It played it safe a little bit, but this specific section of Transit was just great. It was my favorite, one of my favorite sections of Transit, and all around it just shows that certain sections that they created in Transit were actually good. It was actually pretty good. So yeah, that's Town. Oh, on to Tagged or Toten though. You're gonna have more to say about this map than I do.
I probably will, yeah.
I didn't like the Easter egg, but I didn't even like the idea of this map in general. We could have gotten a Great War map. They could have at least tried, but we got this map where it was like one of those. So when I don't know if this is a good analogy, but your friends or your buddies are going to a baseball game or something like that, and you really want to go, but you follow them, and then you realize that you don't have enough money to buy your own ticket, so they get to walk in, and you realize you can't go in, and just imagine there's a fence outside the stands, and you get on a box, and you look over, and you're watching the game from outside the fence, and you don't get to experience it with your friends, and you're not in there, you're not able to participate. That is exactly my opinion on this map. The entire events of the Great War and what's going on is fucking narrated to you. It was narrated to you.
It was.
That's bullshit, man. I wanted to play that, and instead they narrated it to you. And I never liked the Victus crew. Never a fan of them. Like some of them, I like them more than most people, but I also am not a fan of them. I don't really like them. So playing as them for the last Zombies map was really fucking stupid. That was the dumbest idea they could have done. Map itself, I like Call of the Dead, but similar problem to Blood of the Dead, they remastered most of the stuff in a way that was worse than
it seems like
Call
Black Ops 4 just has this tendency of remastering maps.
Yeah, so that's all I have to say about Tiger Zone. And the Tundra Gun fucking sucks.
Yeah, the Tundra Gun variant is really unnecessary, and the fact that they put the scope on the Wonder Waff makes no sense.
Yeah, let's put a scope on the Wonder Waff, and it's way worse.
Yeah, and most of the time the shots don't even kill the zombies anyways with that Wonder Weapon or with the new one.
The gun is just all around trash now.
And for like what how many maps have we seen on Black Ops 4 that have the Hellhounds already? Probably all of them.
Do you count the Tigers as Hellhounds?
The what?
Tigers as Hellhounds?
No.
Okay, well then it's not 9.
It would just be the Ether Story.
Yeah.
So yeah, all 4 of them.
All 4 of the Ether Story maps.
All 4 on Black Ops 4. We've seen all the Hellhounds on every single one of those maps. It just gets annoying and old. Like, I'm just tired of it, you know? You can't come up with any new boss that we can fight against. Kind of makes us mad. I'm pretty sure that's pretty much it for tag.
Where do you want to put it? I put it somewhere in the decent or okie dokie tier.
I would say okie dokie between 5 and Kino.
Yeah, I don't hate that. No, that's not that bad.
That makes sense.
I kind of think the people are gonna be really mad for us putting Kino here, but sorry guys,
Kino's overrated.
Kino is blatantly overrated. It's not decent. It's not bad. It's above those, but it's not the best map ever made. It's not really good. Hell, it's not even good. It doesn't innovate enough to consider itself good. It's just okie dokie.
Okay, now with these next few maps, I really don't have much to say about any of them, to be honest with you. But I know where I'm gonna put them.
I know exactly what to say about these maps. D Machine. I'm going to put this right here. I think D Machine, say what you will, good map. Really, really good map for me. I played this a lot, and it's actually an example of a good remaster. It remastered Nocturne and Toten, but it actually added original ideas that weren't terrible. They were actually pretty good. And the bunker area of the map, the underground area with the anomaly, cool as fuck. The first time I saw it, I thought that shit was crazy. I thought that was awesome. Great idea. They went into horror elements. The lore was not the best, but it was certainly not bad. It was pretty good, and I liked the idea of the Soviets taking control of it and then sending a man in there who ends up dying, and who like in the cutscene like goes in there, steps back, turns around, and then turns back around to go in there, realizing he's gonna die. That stuff is so cool about this map, and you know, the only thing that you could ever crap on this map for is Cold War's actual like engine, of which I don't actually hate Cold War's engine. I am not a hater of Cold War's engine. I actually think it's okay, but personally, it is a really good map. It's actually really good. Mainly because it's one of the few examples of a remaster, not like a total remaster like Zombies Chronicles, but like it's an own map that has parts of an older map. I think it's one of the few games that does it good. It does it really good, and that all automatically has to bring it up. So that's my opinions on D Machine. I'll let you rate Firebase C. I'll probably disagree with it, but it's not. Yeah,
I'm not gonna say anything about this.
Yeah, actually, that's probably where I put it. No, I put it in okie dokie tier. It has some pretty cool ideas, actually, really cool ideas. It is unique. I like unique, and they actually try to be different. But yeah, the map, I totally understand why it's decent. I disagree though. I don't think it should be under Farm. The map is definitely better than Farm. Farm is a terrible map.
I know exactly where to put everyone else too. I don't know why there's 247s on this list.
Mauer is not a bad map.
Yeah, I would say Mauer.
I would put in good tier.
I know, I was gonna put it right here.
That's a good tier.
Right in between Dead and I'm Buried.
I don't hate that. That's all right.
And then the German aspect of this map is just killer, I think. I think the theme of this is really nice. Like it's taking place in just West Berlin.
Oh yeah.
And like
and
the
East
whole
Berlin. Doesn't it take place in East Berlin too?
I think it might just maybe.
Or maybe
it's one of the two.
It's only in East Berlin.
Maybe it's probably one of the two.
Because there's that part of the map where you'll get shot by the guard towers, and that's a reference to East Berlin, how they shoot escapees, I think.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense then.
I think it's East Berlin.
And then Outbreak. I thought about doing the C part, but no, I'm going to put it right there.
Are you really sure? I don't think it's bad, but...
I think the quests on this map are just like...
It's so different.
It's super laid back.
In my opinion, it's way too different than normal zombies to even put on this list. Because sometimes you'll like it, but then you start to question, are you really even playing zombies? Is it really zombies?
It's these big, giant sections of one huge map.
It's zombies, but there's quests in it. There's actual quests in it that you can do to get points and stuff. And the maps are so much larger. Bosses are random, but they could be any boss in the whole game.
And it doesn't feel like it's round based either.
It
It is round based, but it doesn't feel like
really,
it.
I mean, it's kind of round based, but it's not really round based. The only thing I don't like about the map, about Outbreak, is how, you get so little points on the first, area you go to.
Yeah.
You get so little points in the second area, third area, because if I remember correctly, it only increases by 5 points each time. And, the amount of points, which is so stupid. They should not have done that. Other than that, for me, it was okie dokie or decent. But good is, you can have a lot of fun on Outbreak especially if you've never played it before. It'll be a lot of fun if you've never played it before.
That's one way to get good at zombies, actually, is Outbreak.
Yeah, that's a good one. I maybe no for me for that because the map is so wide open. It doesn't really help you get better at all.
I was gonna say that would be the reason why.
But why?
Just practice training and stuff.
Yeah, but most maps, you want to practice for areas where you can't do that.
That's true.
Like a map you'd want to practice on, for example, Nuketown Zombies because of how small some of the areas are.
If you want to try and play map 5, you got to prepare for that stuff. So yeah.
Because this Outbreak prepares you for the newer maps, it doesn't prepare you for the older maps. I guess that's a perfect way to describe it.
Yeah.
Forsaken.
I've only played this map once, so I have no idea.
I have played this map a total of probably 8 times. My opinion of this map is I think it is probably here.
I was gonna say, knowing that I didn't the first time I had fun playing it, but I just didn't know anything about it. So I think just the aspect of me not knowing anything about it, I would have put it in C.
I have played this map. I don't like it at all. I think it's the whole area of the whole map itself is just stupid. I don't like it at all. It's once again, it's unoriginal. It's a cool idea, but you have this conundrum where it's also an unoriginal idea because it was taken from the campaign of Cold War, of which that area was kind of cool because it was a Russian's it was for a Russian training course, that was the whole idea. It was a Russian training shooting yard, to pretending they were shooting up let's say an American town. That was the idea. Yeah. I think that's a cool idea. However, this is another conundrum. I think it's a great idea for a campaign map. You know what I don't think it's a good idea for? A zombies map. And again, the story was fucking non-existent.
It seemed like they just completely ignored the story. The
story was just stupid in this map. I hated it. So I gotta go with bad. I don't think it's a good map at all. I think it's bad. That's crazy. We had more maps in bad tier than any other tier. Actually, except for Okie Dokie. Except for Okie Dokie.
Yeah, Okie Dokie had more.
But yeah, that's our tier. To recap, Mob the Dead and Origins at the top. If I'm the one doing this list, I would argue, because we're both ranking these in turns, in order to be fair, I would argue Mob the Dead and Origins in this case are tied. There's not one's better than the other in this case, because if we're going by each other's list, then I think it's a crime to have one of the others being at the top. They're both tied because we both like them. They're both our favorite maps, so I think they should be tied at the top. Shadows of Evil, it's our same third tier. Dreisendrach is the fourth place because Dreisendrach's really good.
I think on my own I would have rated DE over Shadows.
I guess we can tie those. Those are technically tied. I would rank Shadows above DE, but I would also say that it's very close. It's very, very, very
basically
close.
Yeah, just Origins and Mob as a pair, and then Shadows of Evil and Dreisen as a pair. You can swap those however you want, honestly.
I'll keep it like that. It's fair. It's fair. Your map's at the top. My map's third. I would say that these are. I would pair these. Origins and Mob are tied. Shadows and DE are tied.
Yeah.
Go Rod. Is there. I wouldn't have put Go Rod up here. I'd put Go Rod A, but it's all right. Whatever. Actually, I would have switched Reese and Go Rod. If I'm being honest. The ranking itself though is different, and that's fine. It can totally be different, and I like how it is different than most other people's lists. I don't hate that. 9 isn't really good all around. Best BO4 map, but the best BO4 map is really only in A tier when Go Rock Crovy and DE and Shadows of Evil and technically Origins are all in BO3 and they're in S tier. So literally 4 of the 5 maps in S tier are all BO4 or BO3 maps. Origins BO2 map, but you know it also was in BO3 and remastered in a way that I think was a little bit it improved it. So I think that's crazy. BO3 was really good.
Yeah, I think my entire list would definitely be like a little shapeshifted around. I think yours would be mostly the same though.
Mine
besides Mob and Origins, all I can think of.
Mine would be switched a lot. I wouldn't put Go Rod. In my opinion, I'd put Go Rod in good. I put Outbreak in decent. I would put Classified in good. I would put Ancient Evil. I put it above Moon. I would put Moon in first off. I put Moon in good tier. I would put Darice in S tier. I keep Keanu Undertow in there actually. I think Zetsubo goes there. Right? Blah blah blah. Shangri-La goes there.
I think I might have put Zetsubo higher on my list. I don't even know.
Maybe I put Shangri-La a little bit lower. Maybe I put it a little bit lower than 5, but again, my reasoning for Shangri-La being a little bit higher than 5 was because of the improved Wonder Weapon. Because at least it made traversing the rounds a little bit more bearable than 5. But 5 is also more fun to play. So that's just my opinion. But again, this was a rare case where either one, they're realistically thinking about it. If you're not thinking about atmosphere, you're not thinking about set piece, they're actually decently similar maps. They're kind of similar in a lot of ways. They're stupidly close quarters. The cast, we like the cast. One of them is better, but we like the cast. They're all right in this map. The way to open the Pack-a-Punch is kind of dumb. It's 5. It's better, but it's also kind of dumb in 5. The whole traversing the map is really fucking stupid. Super hard to traverse. It's immobile. It's dumb. The Wonder Weapon, actually that's different. The Wonder Weapon in Shingles is way better. Tag, yeah, I think that goes there.
I think most of these other maps are probably in a good spot.
Maybe I'd change Dai-Rise. I think I compromised with you and put Dai-Rise here. I would put Dai-Rise and Okie Dokie at the bottom of Okie Dokie. I think that Dai-Rise is not nearly as the worst map. I don't even think it's that bad. I don't even think it's top and decent. I think it's the bottom of Okie Dokie. It's a map that is, in the very least, for me, it's fun to play, actually.
I think it's funny because I think on my list, I think I swapped Alpha and Dai-Rise.
That's crazy. Alpha's so bad. That's not. I guess it's kind of close.
Reason why I play BO4 maps is just because the challenges that you get, like the Nebula and Plasma,
that's
and if
true.
it's triple double.
That's fair, but
yeah.
But this map I would not be able to play longer than 3 hours. This map I would want to turn it off by the first hour. So going to 3 would be so fucking hard for me because this map is so unbearably not unique. It doesn't change anything. It doesn't really add anything. It took an idea that was already, you didn't like it, and made it even worse. That was Alpha Omega. There was not one thing that I remember about this map that was unique. Not one thing. It brought back the Reagan Mark II.
Invariance.
That's great. It's invariance, and whoa, it's worse.
It's stupid. I hated those.
It's
they're not even easy to get either.
They're not easy to get, and they're worse. It's what is the point of this map? Why does it exist? This is an ether map. We could have gotten so much better. We've already fought the Avogadro in Transit. We've already fought Avogadro. We don't need... Stop recycling bosses. We know we've already fought them. Be original with your bosses, Treyarch. Come on, man. Jesus. And Blood of the Dead... I think I agree with it. It's top of bad. I would put Voyage of Despair further down the list, in my opinion. Mainly because, I mean, it is unique, but actually, most of these bottom ones I'd switch, actually. I'd actually switch these.
I would have put Die Rising into Transit.
I would put Voyage below Nuketown and maybe above Alpha. I'll switch these two, probably. That's probably it. I'd only do that. That's it. And now that's my list. But that's my list if I'm counting these maps as the World at War versions, that's my list. It's not, I don't even think it's that good, but I haven't played these maps, some of these maps in a while, so it's not going to be completely accurate, but that's right now. That's my list.
That's basically all, honestly. I think we did a good job on this list.
That was a long ass time.
That was long, but yeah.
That was good. That was good. All right, so that was our zombies tier list. We hope to upload more. We hope to do more zombies content. You know, it was fun. We definitely saw our opinions. We kind of surprised each other. All around, we ranked some of our favorite maps in the game, and I think we did it appropriately. So it could have been better, could have been worse, but maybe we'll do it again in the future. Anyway, that's what's your channel name again?
That's it.
This was long and hard, and that's exactly what she said. Goodbye.